How's it going, YouTube? Right, let's talk security again today. Anybody that's got things like this parked outside the house, they want to know they're safe and secure. About a month or so ago, we had a look at some cameras supplied by Reolink. These were like Wi-Fi cameras with the little solar panels on to keep them charged up, to make a really easy installation to add some CCTV to your house. One of them was this. This is the Argus 4, the 180-degree camera that we looked at, to get a nice view all the way down the side of the house here. This one's the Argus PT, so we can move the camera around for a 360-degree view of whatever we want to look at. But Reolink are about to celebrate their 15th anniversary, and as a part of that, they've released a really nice new camera, and it's an upgrade to this one right here. It's called the Atlas PT Ultra, and it's got the solar panel version 2 with it. So this is the one we're going to have a look at today. This is an upgrade version of the Argus PT. And as you can see, this is a 360 view camera, just the same as the Argus PT, but this one's got a higher spec and more features. So I think what we need to do is we need to unbox this first. Let's go through some of the spec of it before we fit it and have a look at it. Right, so let's get it out of the box, and then we'll get the top-down camera and get a bit closer and have a look at it in detail. Right, so opening it up, what we'll do is we'll get everything out of this box, and then I'll get the top camera down and we'll have a bit of a closer look. We've got a little pack with some stuff in it there. Next layer down, we seem to have the camera itself. And right down at the bottom, the very last layer, that's the solar panel and the bits for all the solar for the charging. Right, so let's get the camera set up and go top down and have a look at these in a bit more detail. Like we said at the top, we get this little packet. Let's have a look what we get in it. We get some operating instructions. We've got the templates there for mounting it, so we can get the screws in the wall where we need them. Tips there for tech support and things like that. A sticker to put on your wall outside. Right in the bottom, we get a solar panel. This is a 6-watt solar panel to help recharging of the camera itself. As you saw, I've got these solar panels fitted to the other two cameras, and what I've found is I've never had to charge the cameras up. The solar panel has always kept it up charged enough for what I need. I've not been through a winter yet, so we'll test that, but I'm in the UK, and as you know, that our summers are like winters anyway. Little mounting bracket there, and in this box we get some more ways to mount this on. You get this little foam pad here, so what that's for is, depending on what you mount it for, it gives it a little bit of sponginess to it. The other way of mounting is we've got this strap here. You get this little bracket there. This bracket fits over, you screw it down, and then this strap can go through it. And then if you're mounting it to a round pole or a tree branch or something like that, you can just strap it on rather than screwing it. So that is the solar panel for the charging. And that leaves us with the camera itself. Also with the camera, we've got the same kind of things, a little box with some stuff in for mounting. USB-A to USB-C charge cable there, so if you're charging it up or leaving it permanently powered, you can. Again, it's got the same type of strap, so if we're mounting it to a branch or something like that, you can strap it rather than screwing it. And the bracket to mount it to the wall. What that does is that fits this way up, so that fits in there. This is the top looking down, so this will be against your wall. And then that's how you mount it up, and then you put the aerial up like that. Right, so let me pull a bit of this plastic protection off here so we can have a proper look around it. Right, so let's talk about some of the specs of this camera. Obviously, the first thing we'll notice is we've got the PT head. So we've got a full 360 degree of movement, so we can look at what we want to look at with this camera. This can be remotely controlled from the application of where you want to point it. One of the new features of this particular camera is this can be set up for auto tracking. So if you set it up to track a vehicle or a person, what it'll do is if it sees them, it will actually pan along with them and track with it. We'll have a look at that once we've got it working. This is a true 4K 8 megapixel image. It's got a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, which is twice the capacity of similar products in the industry, which gives us battery life up to 16 months under standard working mode. What it can do with that is continuous recording for 8-day usage on a single charge. Which is quite impressive, to be honest. And obviously with the solar panel that we've got as well, that'll increase those specs because it will also be charging during the daytime. What I find with the other one is under normal usage is the solar panel keeps up with the charging, so the battery is always full in the camera. This camera has a pre-recording option as well. So what that means is on my other camera, what happens is it'll detect movement, say my cat walks past or something like that. When you look at the playback, you literally see the back end of the cat just disappearing. But this pre-record option that this one's got, what it means is it's continuously recording, and then it'll use the pre-recorded bit of when it detects a motion. So you'll see exactly what triggered your PIR. This has got a new technology for night vision, which Reolink call Color X technology. And what this does is this brings your night scenes to life with a full color night vision. So to utilize this features a reliable combination of an ultra large f1.0 aperture lens and a 1/1.8 inch sensor. The Reolink Altas PT Ultra captures 4 times more light than normal IR cameras. Revealing sharp details even in the dimmest nights without the need to turn up the spotlights or the IR lights, so it's quite discreet. And obviously everything can be controlled and programmed from this using the app, which we'll have a look at once we've fitted it. On the back here we've got a little speaker. You can talk back through this camera, and it's also got an alarm siren function as well, so if it detects movement it can set off a siren if that's what you want. Under this little flap here, we've got the Type-C, which is for the charger, or the input for the solar. We'll have a look at that when we go to fit it. Under the camera, right there, you'll see a little flap. And under this flap, this is, if I can get it open, it's got an SD card slot there, which can take up to 512 gigabytes of storage, so it can locally store any videos on the SD card there, or there is the option through the app to upload straight to a cloud. The cloud will be on a subscription service, but it's not actually that expensive. Right, so I think what we should do now is, before we do anything else, I think the best thing to do is turn this on and get it paired up with the application, and at least get it working before we take it outside and fit it to anything. Right, there we are, there's the app running. There's the 2 cameras obviously that's already there, the one down the side of the house and the one out the back. So if I go to this plus here to add another camera, it's got a little scan the QR code thing there, so let's do that. It's found the camera straight away. Right, so I think what we should do is let's turn it on.
Welcome to Reolink. Please install Reolink app and scan the QR code on the camera.
We've just done that.
Bei Reolink. Bitte Reolink App installieren.
Let's go configure Wi-Fi via Bluetooth. I remember last time this thing would not shut up.
Veuillez installer l'application Reolink et scanner le code QR sur la caméra.
Password created, name the device, and then now we should be about ready. First thing we get pop up is we've got a 2 years and 6 month extended warranty with it, so that's a really good warranty that you actually get with this, so we'll get that now. Right, so what we need to do now is get this camera installed and outside so we can go through some of the features and have a look what it's like. So let's go and get this fitted. There it is, up there, that's where it's fitted. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit so we can get a full decent view. I've fitted the solar panel on top of the garage as well. It's right next to it. It doesn't have to be, you can put it a bit more out the way, a bit more discreet, but I've just fitted it there. I've checked it on the app, we've got a really good signal. It's actually starting to get quite dark now as well, and even on the app it's still showing that the solar is charging. I've had a little play with it and I'm actually really impressed with this auto tracking thing. So I think what we'll do is let's put the screen recorder on the phone and let's show you the app and a few of the features of the app. I'm not going to go into massive detail about everything, but let's just have a quick overview of what some of the things it'll do. And then what I'll do is I'll walk around with this camera, I'll show you the auto tracking feature, and then once it gets dark later as well, let's see what it's like in the dark. Right, so let's start the screen recording on this and let's go through the app. Right, so looking at the app, there we've got the camera at the top, the Reolink Atlas PT Ultra. The rear garden one, you can see I've just taken that down for now, and the front door's the front door. So if we go into the new one, the Atlas PT Ultra, if I just click on it, that takes us into the camera. As you can see, we're loading the stream. And there we are, there's a view from the camera now. So what we can do is if I click PTZ at the bottom, that brings up this little joystick. I can move that around and that will manually move the camera. As we can see there, we're moving it around to where we want it to look at. Just above that, it's got some little symbols. If I press through them, look, it's got monitor point, so you can set like a home point for it to go back to. What we can do from that, look, is set current position as home point. So let's do that. And then what it'll do is if you've moved it and then you forget to put it back after this set interval, 60 seconds, look, it'll auto return to that monitor point, assuming I've turned it on. There you are. So you can play around with the camera. So if we go back to this one, look, we can move the camera around and do what we want with it to have a look. There you can see me sat at the table, and then after 60 seconds, if we don't do anything, it'll auto return back to the set point that we've just put on there. Next to the PTZ, we've got playback. Playback is playback. What you can see there is it auto records. Right down at the bottom, you've got a little timeline. You can pick which day you want, pick which time you want to review, click on that, and then it'll start the playback. There's me actually installing the camera, look, because it was recording while I was doing it. And then all you do is it just picks and shows you the playback from the recordings. I've put in a little 32 gig memory card, just so it's recording internally to the camera now. So if I come back out of there, I'll click the little cog to the top right of the camera, look, and then that takes us into the settings. Right at the top there you can see pre-recording mode. If I click onto that, we can turn that on. It does warn us that it will use more battery. It's always kind of pre-recording and overwriting itself constantly, so it will use your battery up a lot faster doing it like that. At least then if you get a movement on the camera, it will record it straight away and you won't have missed it by getting the back end of it. I'm not going to go through literally all of these settings. We've got sounds, look there. You can record audio, obviously. We've got a sound test that we can use. Can you hear? Hopefully you can hear that. That's like a little alarm that you can set off. We've got PIR motion sensor on. Obviously you can turn that on or off. Change the sensitivity depending on what you're wanting to do. In that detection alarm, look, what you can do is you can schedule it and things like that. There's loads and loads and loads of settings you can actually do with this. Halfway down the screen, we've got auto tracking. I've turned that on. You can pick which tracking type you want, look, and then it will track exactly what you want it to track. So you can literally just make it so it tracks vehicles. So if you're using it on, say, a larger house or a larger property or a commercial property, you can make it track vehicles only. So you can get the registration plate and things like that. What the important ones that I actually keep on are the push notifications. So if you get movement, it sends a push notification to your phone. You can set that up. You can set it up to email and everything else, but I'd usually just use the push notifications to the phone. And you've got other little settings. You've got like time-lapse setting and things like that. I think what I'll do is I'll try one of these out and see if we can show you. But the thing I want to show you now is if we go into the camera, it started playing now. If I go down here so I'm out of shot, what I'll do is I'll walk in front of it, it'll detect me as a person, and then what it'll start doing is it'll start recording me automatically, and then it'll track me as well. So if I walk out into the garden, look, there I've walked in front of the camera, it should detect me in a second and then it'll start following me. So if I try and walk out of shot over here, look, you can see there it's turned and followed me. So now what I can do is I will literally walk down this path and walk straight past the camera, and then hopefully it should follow me. There you are, look, you can see it going now. And it's followed me there all the way around the garden. So if I go right out of shot, I can't really get out of shot. It's following me wherever I can go, look. So I'm quite impressed with this auto tracking feature that it's got. So if you do get any animals or anything, I'm going to use it for animals because we do get foxes here. I think that'd be quite good to see what's going on in the garden. If I walk right around this corner now, it should lose sight of me. And then what it'll do is it'll sit there for 60 seconds. If it doesn't see me again, it'll return back to the original position. There you are, it's gone back. So I think that auto tracking feature is absolutely fantastic. I really do like that. And then it's followed me all the way back down now. Right, so what I need to do now is I'm going to let it get dark. What I might try and do actually is do one of these cloud time lapses or something like that. While it's getting dark, we'll use the camera and the time lapse setting on the app. Let's let it get dark and let's see what this is like at night in the dark, shall we? As we can see, it's pretty dark outside now. You'll not be able to see a lot with this camera at all. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's start this phone up, screen recording, and let's have a look at the camera outside now. Right, so if we go into the app, let's pull the camera up in the back garden now. Right, there's the view right now on the camera. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go outside so you can see it's now. I've got the normal camera set up as well, so you can see how dark it is, look. So what I'll do, let me walk into the middle of the garden. There I am, look. And you can see me. And it should actually start tracking me again now. There you are, look. It's tracking me around the garden now. And as you can see by the camera, it is pretty dark out here. And if we look up at the camera itself, you can see it's got a little spotlight on it there. It's not a super bright spotlight, so it's not really intrusive. We can see at the garden, there you are, look, at the garden, it's not lighting up the garden at all. Actually, now it's gone off. There you are, it's turned off. So this is the view that we're getting with it off. It's following me now, even with the light off. And it's just turned back on just to get a better view. I've got it set up. If I go into the settings, it's set up in automatic. If we go down to light, there, look. What you'll see, it's got a spotlight setting, and then that's set up in auto mode. You can make that brighter if you want to make it light up your whole garden or something like that. You can. I've just left that at its default setting. But coming back out, look, there I am, look, in the garden, and you can see the night vision on this is absolutely excellent. If we look around and compare it to the actual camera that I've got in my hand. And just for another comparison, what I can also show you, is if I log out of this app, just to the right there, you'll see I've got Hit Connect. That's another system I've got on this house. That's hardwired in. And there is the camera at the front of my house right now. This is a difference in quality. There's the one onto the back of my camper, look. So as a comparison, if we go back out now, back into the Reolink app, you'll see these Reolink cameras. There's the one down the side of the house, and that's the view coming out of that one. You can really see a difference between these two systems. And this Heat Connect one, this was not a cheap system at all. That's a hardwired system. You can see the picture quality difference there between them. It's a really impressive system, these Reolink ones. Right, so I think that's about all I need to show you on this camera system. What I'll do is I'll put some links down below where you can check out this camera for yourself. I believe I've got some discount codes as well. It's an introductory offer as well because it's just released. It's a new camera system now. So check out the links below for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more tech or camper gear or anything like that, or the outdoor stuff. It's a little bit random sometimes. Comment below anything you want to say, and don't forget to like the video. That helps loads, and I will catch you in another video. Cheers.